Okay, never have I ever. Have you ever played that game?
Yeah.
Never have I ever. Never have I ever had to have an evacuation plan from a foreign country, Rick Perkins.
True.
Okay, come up here a little
But
closer.
didn't involve a washroom.
Right, come up here for a sec. So never have I ever, but we are in Israel. We got here just before the war started, and we are obviously trapped here because the airspace is closed down in Israel. So, evacuation plan, we have come to Eilat, which is almost on the border of Aqaba, Jordan. We will cross the border at Jordan, and we will fly from Aqaba to Amman in Jordan, from Jordan, Amman, Jordan to Toronto, if all goes well. If all goes well.
All goes well.
So
we're at the sort of the tip of the Red Sea where Moses parted the Red Sea, supposedly.
Rick wouldn't part the Red
wouldn't
Sea
do it.
for us to get home, so
There were too many people in the water.
thanks for that. No, yep, you make light of this because you're in such a stressful situation. But it's kind of weird, the psychology around this, Rick, because it's kind of like planning an excursion. Oh, I've got to get to this point, and I've got to do this, and do I need American money, and then what do I do? Except there's this very real fear of, will I be locked up and never make it home?
Yeah. Will you be able to make it through the Jordanian border as, North Americans, people coming from Israel, Jordan is 70% Palestinian. And then once you're there, will the plane take off? We actually have 2 planes out of Jordan. And will it take off? The first one take off, then the second one. What happens if they don't and you're stuck in Jordan? What happens if the airspace closes while we're in Jordan? All those things are possible when you're in a war zone. That, when Michelle said it's the Israel-Iran war, obviously there have been things going on for Gaza for over 600 days, but this was not expected for any Canadian that left last week, that they would be caught in a war between Israel and Iran. And thankfully for the world, Israel is doing what they're doing with Iran, because they are a global destabilizing force that funds terrorism around the world. It's a long time that the Persian people be free from the clutches of the Ayatollah in the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
A lot of people don't know that, right? So I think, in Canada, in the Western world, we're very naive to think, oh, it's a problem over there, it doesn't matter. And we're very disconnected if you don't have Persian friends, Israeli friends, Jewish friends. You don't know that the Iranian people actually want to be freed from the oppression of the IRGC. Like, Israel is doing the world a favor. Rick said it very well, but if you don't know, Rick's a human encyclopedia. He knows stuff that the Joe Blow doesn't know. But to Joe Blow, what Israel has done has changed the course of history. The world will never be the same after this.
No, this is like the end of the fall of the Iron Curtain. I worked for Canada's foreign minister in the early 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed, and Canada was the first country to recognize Ukraine as a country in the world. That changed the world forever, and the dynamics, as obviously did World War II. This is going to be the equivalent. The change between the access between Iran, Russia, China, and North Korea has now changed. Russia is already abandoning Iran, they say, we'll see. But that destructive force to destabilize democracy and Western freedom is starting to collapse because of what Israel is doing in hopefully having regime change, as they call it, in Iran. And the son of the Shah of Iran, whether you like him or not,
Shah is what?
The Shah of Iran was the civilian dictator of Iran before the Islamic Revolution in 1979. His son is in exile in California. He has said that they are preparing a 100-day return, and a return to make Iran a democracy, a Western-based democracy. And if that happens with the help of the Persian people, it will be a glorious thing for the world.
So you can see, we're obviously sitting in a very comfortable situation. It's bizarre. I think the most bizarre thing of this whole thing is that the Israeli people And let's have a conversation about Israeli people. There are 2 million Arabs that live in Israel, okay? It's not just Jewish people. Israel is a state that represents democracy in the midst of undemocratic surrounding areas. It is a free nation, and that is why it is so important to protect, because it represents freedom for the rest of the world. But you can tell these people, like, there could be a siren at any time. They get up, they go to a bomb shelter, they come out of the bomb shelter, they go back to their life. They have been, this has happened for centuries, that they have been hated. They are so used to being attacked that it is normal to them. And the resilience, like Rick and I are just like, I mean, this siren, it's so jarring, and then they live, and this is the Israeli way. Like, you cannot break us, right? One guy said it best. He said, Jews love 2 things: complaining and overcoming, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
every day they're overcoming. This is
yes,
a very strange thing for Canadians and North Americans to be in. When the sirens go, or when you hear a jet overhead, we're jumpy, because of course every building here has a bomb shelter. Literally every building. The bus stops. The bus stops have bomb shelters.
They know they're protected.
Right.
They know they're protected. So we were here on a delegation with political influencers, diplomats, all these people to bring us over to give us an education of what's happening on the ground, how it impacts Western society. We were invited here, and it was supposed to be kind of business as usual. That's why we're here. We just happened to land here 2 days before the war that would change the world. And so now we are in evacuation mode. And if you watch this video, it means that we made it safely across, because I chose not to share anything while we were here until I was safely on Canadian soil. So what would you say, Rick, your take-home message of this whole experience has been?
That the determination through 4,000 years of persecution of the Jews around the world is why this place exists. It's a place of guaranteed freedom and non-persecution for the Jewish people. It's why there is a need for Israel. It's why it was created in 1949 after the Holocaust. And what we're dealing with here, and it's easy to forget this, there was a ceasefire with Hezbollah and Hamas.
Those are terrorists.
And there was a ceasefire, and it was broken by Hamas on October 7th, a little over 2 years ago, where they slaughtered 1,200 innocent Israelis. And slaughtered is really glossing it over what was done. I mean, we were at the Nova site, which was an unintended spot of death, rape, and torture of young Israelis simply because they were attending a concert and simply because they were Jewish. And the Jewish state was supposed to be the safe place in the world for Jews after the Holocaust and World War II. And it has to remain that way. And we have to reverse the 4,000 years of anti-Semitism, including the anti-Semitism that's happening in our own country in Toronto. I mean, the very idea that unions are organizing, CUPE is organizing a rally in Toronto in support of Iran, where they shot down a plane and killed Canadians. Iran, where they stone and beat women, where if you don't wear the right clothes, they throw you in jail and persecute you, if not kill you. Iran is a horrible, horrible place to be if you're a human being of any background. And so this has to stop. It has to stop that people are treated as chattel for those who are powerful, which is what happens in places like Iran, where people are just a commodity to be exploited.
I believe that Israel is a metaphor for all of freedom. I believe that they are a metaphor for what people want. The freedom to be who you are, to live your life, and to not be vilified for who you are. And when Israel fights, it is in your best interest, if you are a person who wants freedom and democracy, to stand with them. And I think the whole world needs to, quite frankly, thank a Jew, if I'm going to be very honest. This has been a life-changing experience. You watch rockets in the sky on TV, but to watch them in real life, you don't unsee that.
Yeah, it's a video game on TV for 10 seconds. Here it's just life. And even what's going on here for the experience that they have is totally unusual for them, the volume and of what's going on. But it's important to remember, if you don't want a war, you don't start one. Hamas started the war. Iran's policy is to wipe the Jewish state out. That's why Iran wanted a nuclear bomb. They were getting close. And 12 years of ragging the puck negotiations by the West with our standards, where we say, well, let's have a decent negotiation, and they delay and delay and delay and delay through negotiation and take advantage of our openness to have those legitimate negotiations while they build a bomb.
With the purpose of eradicating an entire race.
Right, and so enough is enough. And that's what has happened with regard. There was a major attack being planned by Iran against Israel before this happened. Why did this happen? This wasn't out of the blue. Israel has the best intelligence about what's going on. All you have to look is at the precision of hitting military targets and individuals versus the mass bombing of civilians in Israel. They knew and have the best intelligence and knew what was about to happen to Israel. And should they have just let a bomb happen? Should they have just allowed the assault to happen, or should they defend themselves? And we believe, we haven't been here meeting with politicians and the government. We haven't met with anyone in the government. We were going to, but none of that happened. So all we've been doing is talking to individual
Israelis
citizens
and
Palestinians, both in Jerusalem, in here, in the Negev desert, everywhere we've been. So make no mistake, even amongst the Jewish people, there is no love for the Prime Minister, but there is a love to defending that country.
See you on the other side, friends.